Get in there!
Facing the threat of being attacked by gigantic monsters called klaxosaurs, humanity is forced to live in huge mobile fortress cities called plantations on barren land. However, the gigantic klaxosaurs can only be defeated by giant robots that are operated by a pair of males and females. The FranXX pilots are called parasites. Among all parasites, a female parasite named 02 is famous for her horns and fangs. She is also called partner killer, because whoever rides with her dies after the third time. 02 and scientist Dr. FranXX, who helped in the construction and management of FranXX, arrive at one of the plantations called Cerasus. 02 gets separated from the team and meets with our main protagonist named Hero. Hero is a pilot, but he fails to become a parasite and synchronize with his partner. Afterwards, Hero's classmates attend the welcoming ceremony. A klaxosaur suddenly attacks the plantation and starts destroying it. 02, with her FranXX called Strelizia, fights with the monsters but gets injured while her partner is mortally wounded. Watching this, Hero decides to ride with her and eventually reveals the true form of Strelizia. They combine their forces and defeat the klaxosaurs with only one strike. However, Hero gets unconscious after the fight. Then it is revealed that 02 is a human klaxosaur hybrid called Pistol. Hero returns to the student residence. However, even though he was able to ride with 02, he does not remember anything that happened in the cockpit. As he enters the building, he finds 02 eating in the mess hall, but in a very disgusting manner. Later, the remaining parasites in their pair get ready and pilot their FranXX. Ichigo, the leader of the parasite squad, is worried for Hero, while some boys think Hero has not to pilot Strelizia since it is rumored that 02 can pilot a FranXX herself. Afterwards, the leadership of APE decide to promote Hero to the official pilot if he can win a mock battle in a FranXX. 02 decides to be his partner, but Ichigo interrupts her as she is not their squad member and requests to be Hero's partner for the test. Miku and Zerome agree to be their opponents. However, during the match, Hero loses control of the FranXX and eventually loses his chance to become an official pilot. After the practice fight, Hero's fellow pilots are tasked with taking down a klaxosaur beneath the city in their first mission. 02 is charged with helping them with Mitsuru rather than Hero, when they are unable to handle the situation. Together, Mitsuru and 02 easily beat the adversaries, although Mitsuru sustains multiple wounds as a result of the fight. Then, 02 reiterates her assertion that Hero is the only pilot who can connect to her. A klaxosaur appears and attacks 02 as they are being taken to transport by Strelizia. Hero finally decides to take action as the situation worsens, and convinces 02 to board the Strelizia with him, which he manages to pilot. Following their assistance in defeating the klaxosaur, Hero makes the decision to fly Strelizia with 02, even if it means losing his life. Currently, the Plantation 13 and 26 pilots are collaborating to keep it safe during the magma fuel transfer as it attracts klaxosaurs. Hero ultimately joins the group and is accepted, but ever since he rode with 02, a blue tumor-like growth has appeared on his breast. The following morning, Hero runs into 02. He is warned not to ride with her a third time because it might be his last, but Hero is adamant about continuing. The parasites and other squads, together with Strelizia, are able to stop the horde of Conrad-class klaxosaurs as they approach the plantations along with a large structure. Hero, who is in a precarious situation and on the verge of passing out from weariness, resolves to keep going despite his condition after observing 02 desperately defending himself. He stands up and follows her as she demolishes the Gutenberg klaxosaur. As a result of their success in the last combat, 02 is accepted in Squad 13, and Hero is formally acknowledged as a FranXX pilot. Then, as a reward, Squad 13 is taken on a vacation to a beach nearby, where 02 and Hero examines the adjacent ruins. After a battle in which the female pilot's clothing is ruined by the acid used by the antagonist klaxosaur, much to the delight of the boys and the dismay of the girls, the female pilots have a falling out with the male pilots. After that, the girls and guys start fighting until they remind each other of the Squad 13 members who have already died, at which point they make up and resume their shared duties. In order to stop another Klaxosaur of the Gutenberg class from colliding with the plantation, Squad 13 is sent to the site. Goro ejects Ichigo to save Delphinium from the enemy during the battle, but he becomes stuck inside the monster while the others are told to leave. The crew devises a strategy and returns to rescue Goro after Ichigo dives inside the monster and enables Goro to evacuate safely. Goro admits his feelings for Ichigo after the fight. The members of Squad 13 are granted brief entry into the city to receive medals as the Seven Sages decide to honor them for their repeated wins over the Klaxosaurs. After the ceremony, on the way back to the dorms, Zorome drifts away from the others and leaves back. The woman who greets Zorome when he wakes up looks familiar to him. When he is eventually brought back to his room, his memory of her slowly starts to fade. One of the locations for the top-secret S planning is protected by Squad 13. The parasites eliminate a large Klaxosaur when it appears. The pilots opt to employ Janista's close-range strike to open a break for themselves throughout the conflict, but they are unable to get to the core. They finally cut a large hole in the adversary to expose the core so that Strelizia could destroy it, after fearing for their friendships and their incapacity to use the close-range attack. After the battle ends, Squad 13 is sent back to the garden, where they were raised for some testing. The Nines, formerly known as 9 Iota, welcome them, and their leader 9 Alpha questions what 02, formerly known as 9 Iota, saw in them. Squad 13 is sent in to defend the garden from a group of Klaxosaurs, and Hiro observes a frantic look. 02 disobeys rules and launches lone attacks, believing that in order to become completely human, she must kill more Klaxosaurs. Hiro inquires about the meaning of her comments after the combat, but she dodges the question. When the second wave of Klaxosaurs comes in, Squad 13 launches another sortie, and 02 again goes rogue. When Hiro tries to stop her, she starts hitting him, which makes him experience flashbacks to a long-forgotten past. Hiro and 02 talk about their early years spent at the garden. Hiro is told by Ichigo in Delphinium to avoid 02 since she will drain his energy, but Hiro has a flashback and realizes that 02 is the girl of his past memory. After the battle, 02 thinks back to her youth and realizes that Hiro was her darling at the time. Ichigo and her friends ban 02 from seeing Hiro while he is in the hospital. Squad 13 is informed that they will take part in a massive operation with the Nines and squads from several plantations, and that 02 will be returned to the Nines while Hiro is still sleeping. Before the procedure starts, 02 has a string of confusions that cause Hiro to chastise her and refer to her as a monster. 02, discouraged, departs from the dorm and rejoins the Nines. While the remainder of Squad 13 participates in the operation against the sizable Klaxosaur horde on the Grand Crevasse, Hiro stays behind. The human troops, led by the Nines, seem to be winning the battle against the Klaxosaurs until a massive Super Layman-class Klaxosaur appears and decimates Plantation 26. When the monsters arrive at Plantation 13 and Hiro arrives there on the Strelizia, he finds 02 operating alone and on the verge of losing her mind. However, he declares his love to her. They synchronize. Together, they strengthen Strelizia to the point where she can defeat the Super Layman Klaxosaur by herself and, with the Nine's assistance, crack open the Grand Crevasse's entrance. The members of Squad 13 are left by themselves on standby at Misteltein, in Plantation 13's ruins after the battle at the Grand Crevasse. They are unaware that Dr. FranXX is conducting an experiment in their new surroundings. They like their new lives together, despite their challenges and new obligations, especially 02, which is more at ease and is enthusiastically welcomed back into the squad. Squad 13 on Misteltein feels less abandoned after the Nines visit them. Hiro has begun to develop horns in the meantime, making him more like his sweetheart. Members of the APE encounter the princess of the Klaxosaurs in the interim and demand that she surrender, but she kills them instead, referring to them as human wants Tobes. When the Nines show up to APE with news of their trip to Misteltein, Papa talks about his plans to exterminate all Klaxosaurs. Hachi tells Ichigo that Squad 13 will soon be moved from Misteltein to a separate facility where the rest of the parasites are stationed. The group decides to celebrate Kokoro and Mitsuru's wedding. Ikuno admits she is in love with Ichigo when he visits her when she is recovering from a sickness. The Nines enter Misteltein during the wedding with a group of troops and detain both. In a flashback, Nana is depicted as being deeply saddened by the passing of her companion in a FranXX. Weeks later, Mitsuru and Kokoro are reunited with Squad 13 in the children's camp Bird's Nest, but the others are horrified to discover that they have no memory of one another. 02 and Hiro are both aware that, like them in the past, Mitsuru and Kokoro have had their memories erased. In order to further their goals, the APE Supreme Commanders justify erasing Mitsuru and Kokoro's memories. When Hiro and the others ask Papa to bring back Kokoro and Mitsuru's memories, they are informed that since their memories were erased, doing so is not possible. After realizing that Squad 13 will never be adults, Papa agrees to relieve them of their duties after their upcoming mission against the Klaxosaurs is complete. For the decisive conflict with the Klaxosaurs, the parasites assemble at the location of the Grand Crevasse. Hiro and 02 are charged with using Strelizia to command the Star Entity, a powerful weapon kept inside the Grand Crevasse, while the others are fighting against a sizable army of Klaxosaurs attacking the base. By forcibly dragging 02 out of the cockpit and synchronizing with Hiro, the Klaxosaur princess escapes security and seizes control of Strelizia. The Klaxosaurs give up their battle with the parasites to launch an attack on an armada of spacecraft that have suddenly appeared in the Earth's orbit. Then, Papa reveals that all of APE's actions were a part of their scheme to use humanity against them, and that he and his companions are actually members of Verm, an alien race that once attempted to attack Earth but was repulsed by the Klaxosaurs. The Verm, foreseeing the princess's attempt to seize control of the Star Entity, activates a self-destruct mechanism built into it, eradicating all the Klaxosaurs and destroying Earth in the process. Hiro exploits his relationship with the Klaxosaur princess to postpone the Star Entity's explosion, as the Verm uses their powers to transfer the consciousness of the plantation's humans into their systems. The remainder of Squad 13 rushes back to the Grand Crevasse to save their companions. Together with others, 02 forces Hiro to expend all of their energy in order to heal him and regain control of the Star Entity, which then changes into the enormous Strelizia Apis and vanquishes the invaders. The Verm then make the decision to withdraw, pledging to come back with their complete armada to destroy Earth. As Hiro is reveling in their triumph, he notices that 02 is not responding. Strelizia Apis travels into space with the Klaxosaurs as they fight Verm, and the remaining parasites cooperate under Squad 13 to ensure their survival. While 02 remains catatonic, Hiro is perplexed by the numerous wounds that suddenly sprout on her body. Hiro, worried about 02's condition, discovers that her mind is still inside the Strelizia Apis, where the other Klaxosaurs and she are battling Verm in Mars orbit. He and the other Squad 13 members consent to travel with Hiro on a crashed Klaxosaur spaceship, where they are joined by the 9 survivors. Squad 13 takes off into the universe to join the battle against Verm. Before 9 Alpha gives his life in the conflict, the others assist him in partnering with Hiro so that he can enter Strelizia Apis securely. Nana and Hachi reject the Verm's offer of humanity living in permanent peace and tranquility as an unacceptable alternative. Hiro gradually reconnects with 02's mind on Strelizia Apis, and the two decide to battle together once more, transforming the Strelizia Apis into the more potent Strelizia True Apis. A warp portal built long ago by the Klaxosapiens appears after the Verm troops are vanquished. Hiro and 02 promise their friends they will return home as they enter the warp gate with a massive bomb made by the Klaxosaurs in an effort to destroy Verm. The surviving parasites cooperate to completely rebuild humanity as Hiro and 02 battle the Verm in space. Just when the Strelizia True Apis arrives at the Verm homeworld, 2 years have passed. To destroy the Verm homeworld and free all the souls imprisoned there, Hiro and 02 make the ultimate sacrifice. But the Verm claim that they will come back one day. The last Klaxosaurs retreat to the Earth's interior after the final fight. Parasites use the energy to restore nature and vow never to consume magma energy ever again. Thanks to the parasite's diligent efforts, the planet has been brought back to a flourishing state 8 years later. During their children's school entrance ceremony, the former team gets together to memorialize Hero and Zero Two. After a long decade, Hero and Zero Two's souls reincarnate as a couple of kids who cross paths again. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. See you in the next one.